Video for 2019. In this video, we want to translate the whole blockchain crypto assets industry, explain what's really happening right now. We'd also look at how big the industry really is right now. We look to see if it would really ever go mainstream, how it would really affect the global financial marketplace. We also have our whole team here at Asset Management, our diverse team to different countries worldwide, gonna all have their input as to exactly how big the blockchain really is right now worldwide and what we see in the future. And we'd also look too at our company's accomplishments for the first quarter of 2019. So now we'd like to please ask Frank Lee here, our executive officer here at Asset Management, to explain a little bit about the financial industry and blockchain. What's going on there?
Thanks, Daryl. Hi. If you're like me, most of us became interested in cryptocurrency only when Bitcoin reached a valuation that was simply impossible to ignore, and that was about 2 years ago. And for some time now, traditional banks have also been eyeing what's happening in the cryptocurrency market. And as many of us know, banks love making a profit wherever it can, whether it's in the cryptocurrency market or such as in Bitcoins or in fiat currency such as the US dollar. As a former banker, I sit up and notice when I hear such big banks such as the 125-year-old Julius Baer, a Swiss private bank, teaming up with SIBA Crypto AG, a crypto banking startup company, to help clients to store, trade, and invest in crypto assets. And this certainly is not the first case of such companies coming together to provide a synergistic relationship. We've already seen other similar situations in countries where banks initially were dead set against anything to do with cryptocurrencies, but they're now becoming early adopters of this disruptor, of this new way of keeping our assets safe. So what does all this mean to investors? Well, although the market worth of cryptocurrency is estimated at $700 billion as of year-end last year, let's be honest. The cryptocurrency market is still in its infancy stage. And in fact, some countries such as Mexico have recently announced that they want to ban cryptocurrency from the average investor, stating that it's simply too complex for the investor to understand what's going on. Well, there's a flaw in that logic. Many people find mutual funds or even the stock market too complex to understand, and yet they confidently put their retirement money or investment into a mutual fund or pension fund that they don't understand. Furthermore, many of us don't fully understand how a car really works, except that it has an engine, a steering wheel, brakes, and 4 tires. And yet we see people spend tens of thousands of dollars each year buying an automobile. Other countries such as Malta have fully embraced cryptocurrencies. For example, they actually have legislation now in place that promote and regulate blockchain and cryptocurrency transactions. At DE Asset Management, our value proposition is to help the investor to cut through all the complexities of the cryptocurrency market. And that's why we focus on a select number of companies to invest in. And investors profit from our research and our experience. So whether you decide on getting involved with cryptocurrency as an investment vehicle, or you prefer just sit on the sidelines for now and watch, I highly recommend that you do your homework. If banks are getting excited about blockchains and cryptocurrencies and they're putting a lot of resources into that, there's certainly cause for us to look into this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frank. So looking at our accomplishments, we're going to look at our accomplishments as a company now for the first quarter of 2019. And we started off this quarter with assets of 1.2 million US dollars in crypto assets. So in the first quarter, starting January to March 2019, we acquired new assets of 2.8 million US dollars in crypto assets. So we have increased our team to better serve our clients and investors. We are now focusing more on acquisition representatives to drive the deal flow. We will later work to become partners, who will actually later work to become partners, these acquisition representatives. And what we find is this really fosters competitive spirit here at the company. And this was actually very evident with the first quarter that we have had this year. Another change in the company is the type of deals that we'll be pursuing. So starting second quarter, we'll be pursuing deals outside of just the blockchain space. Any project that could be a good fit for our company and for our limited partners, we are willing to look at. So now we'd have a brief overview of our funds. So the DE Passive Fund now have assets valued at $46.72, which is a loss of $24.953 from last quarter, which was $25,000. And this was due to the restructure in one of our ICOs, and it therefore affected the token price. So now we're going to look at the DE ICO fund. Now we have assets valued at $131,250, right? So again, it's $131,250, right? Which is an increase of $56,250 from last quarter, right? So last quarter we had $15,000 in the fund. So this increase was due to the addition of 2 new ICOs that we had in the fund. So that was a major mark in the fund we had this quarter. So for a full review, summary of the funds, please go to deasset.ca, or you could contact me for more information. So some new things that we had, we're going to be putting in place, for the second quarter, is every Tuesday, starting in April, we're going to have a podcast. In that podcast, what we'd like to do is we'd be looking at companies, and we'd be rating companies. We'd be giving them a buy, a sell, or a hold rating based on the analysis that we ourselves will be doing on these companies. So again, we'd also like to talk about the fact that in the second quarter, we'd be pursuing projects outside of just the blockchain space. We'd be looking at any project that would be a good fit for our company. So we'd also want to thank all our clients for the first quarter, all our shareholders for all the help and support that they have been giving us. Also, anyone who is interested in blockchain, they heard of it and they want to know more about it, please contact myself or anyone in the team, or go to deasset.ca. Okay? So now we'll hear from Natu, acquisition representative here at DE Asset Management, to discuss the technical side of the industry.
Hi everyone, thanks Daryl for the intro. This is Natu, and I'm here with DE Asset Management just to discuss some interesting trends in the blockchain industry from a technical perspective. So there are quite a few things that are happening at this particular time. And just to condense it, I'm just going to talk about fundraising mechanisms that we've seen throughout the last 2.5 years since we started focusing on blockchain, and now the greater startup community, which includes non-blockchain startups as well. So, in 2017, that's when most of us who were in blockchain got into blockchain, because that was when the ICO trend got huge. And an ICO is just issuing a coin, so having an initial coin offering. And the reason why this was huge is because Ethereum issued something called the ERC20 standard. And the ERC20 standard is called, so what it is, it's Ethereum Request for Comments. Request for comments is just a standard phrase used in the software development community to mean that you are proposing a new idea or a new technical specification. In other words, it's an idea for Ethereum to issue a new type of product on top of its blockchain. Ethereum is a blockchain project that has something called smart contracts. Smart contracts automatically run logic on top of a blockchain. And blockchains are just ways of storing transactions. So because of ERC20, ICOs became really popular. People started making tokens or coins or cryptocurrencies, whatever you want to call them. People started issuing these new digital units of coins thanks to Ethereum making it very easy to do so. And this lasted until 2018, at least the beginning of it. And what happened, initial coin offerings kind of dried out. The market went bearish, meaning that the market went down in the digital asset world. And ICOs got a whole lot less popular to do. And in late 2018, what we started seeing the discussions of was the security token offering. Because the SEC, governmental body in America that regulates securities. Securities are just a form of an asset, stocks, bonds, etc. There was a controversy regarding whether Ethereum-based tokens and ICOs were really securities or not securities. So that sparked a huge debate. And in 2018, the SEC, started getting really hard on it. People started feeling negative on it, and that part of that is what caused a negative market downturn. And that's not the entire reason, but that's just a large part of it. And as a result, STO started getting popular. So an STO is a security token offering. So it's when you proudly say that I'm issuing a new security, and this security is going to be tokenized, meaning that the security is represented by tokens, which may or may not be on Ethereum's blockchain. And these tokens are regulated by governmental bodies such as the SEC. So this got popular, and we're still seeing it, but in 2019, a lot of people realized that STOs kind of take longer than they thought at first, because you have a lot of regulation to go through, and it really takes time for these rules to go through, right? So what we started seeing some IEOs. And IEOs are initially issuing a coin on an exchange. And part of this is it's kind of like commercializing the ICO marketplace by offering new products and services to help people issue ICOs quickly. Let's say I have a coin. It's called Natu coin. There's an exchange out there. Let's say somebody has a cryptocurrency exchange, and you want to raise money for your project. What somebody would do who owns an exchange, they may actually build the coin for you, put it on their exchange, make it protected so that there are only certain buyers and sellers who can get access to your token, and these buyers and sellers would be called market makers. Market makers would control, in other words, help have deals on the kinds of price patterns that you want your coin to be at. Some call it market manipulation, some call it not market manipulation. Really, it's regulated market control. And through this process and through the process of business consulting, people could actually get the raise that they're looking for. And this was an emerging trend. Another emerging trend was asset-backed tokens. And kind of in the same body as STOs, instead of representing your token as security, people are representing it as, it's representing your token as a security, but as specific physical kinds of securities, such as precious metals or hemp, what have you. And this was a popular trend we saw in 2019. And that, in a nutshell, is where we are today. We're seeing a big trend of asset-backed tokens, IEOs, taking the marketplace. And as of Q2 in 2019 and going forward, DE Asset Management is going to have a strong focus on working on projects that are in non-blockchain as well, and moving more to a traditional venture style or venture capital company style. And I thank you for watching this video, and I shall see you in the next one in the next quarter. Thank you so much.